Alright, hello there guys, and welcome to a commentary which is done in live time. But for a change, I'm not actually streaming this. I am recording this to upload to YouTube specifically later on. And the reason I'm doing that is because it's pretty early for me, and I don't normally stream at this time. But I found a few players who I've kind of known for a long time, and they're willing to go and give my balance patch a go, and it should be a really good game. I hope. These guys are pretty, highly rated. They're not, top experts, but I'm sure you probably heard of Blaze and Gripen before. You've probably seen these guys play before. These guys part of the Buzz team. So they are using the balance patch that I posted the video about yesterday, the one that Resonance22 and I are working on. And I'm going to be really interested to see how this goes. The setup for this game is obviously going to be on Arabia, and they've gone for team random civilizations as well. The teams are, well, 2v2 format. Off to the east of the map in the purple, we've got Blaze. He's playing as the Mayans. And down to the south, his teammate in the grey, we've got Gripen, and he's playing as the Huns. Mayans and Huns civ combo. Pretty interesting that we got Mayans and Huns, considering that they were team random here. But it should be interesting to see how some of these balance changes affect these civilizations. And obviously, we'll talk a little bit more in depth as we go on about what changes may affect these civilizations. So that's Team 1, Blaze and Gripen there, over to the right of the map. And off to the other side of the map, at the north in the yellow, we've got Buzz Decim, not sure, Decim I assume, in the yellow there as the Mayans. And his teammate just to the south of him, we've got Buzz Atos playing as the Huns in the green. So the main changes that we've made, I think are actually going to make the Mayans a little stronger, to be honest with you. You guys probably realize by now that these changes in the balance patch are not final. They're not absolutely concrete, and things will be changed in the future. We will be looking at actually making some changes and updates to civilizations specifically. At the moment, we've not really looked at the Mayans, and if anything, the Mayans have only been buffed by the balance patch so far, which, let's be honest, is not a great balance to have. But the Mayans will certainly benefit from that Eagle Warrior upgrade, and it'll be interesting to see if they come into play. But Blaze already saying in the chat there that he's looking to do a drush, since both Man-at-Arms and Long Swordsman, as well as the Militia Line Infantry, have been given a slight speed boost. The Huns then, the Huns are going to be an interesting one, because the Huns have received quite a large nerf. The fact that the Cavalry Archers are quite a lot more expensive for them now. We've nerfed their Cavalry Archer cheapness upgrade, and that should really make them a little more balanced in the castle age. Obviously, the Mayans here on Arabia anyway aren't going to be rushing up to get a castle, because it's kind of risky to take all that stone in the feudal age as the Mayans here. There's no real easy way to wall up on Arabia, and now that we've nerfed walls a little bit as well, seeing that wall, fast castle drop, and plumed archer spam from the Mayans is certainly going to be a little bit harder to do. So I think, rushing is certainly going to be improved in this balance patch, and we can see already that Decim here up at the top, sticking up his barracks already, and he's got the scout there at the front, the Eagle Warrior, finding out exactly what Blaze is up to. Blaze at the moment starting to wall up with houses a little bit. Houses here with 800 health rather than 900. That may still need to come down slightly, because that is still quite considerably more than a palisade wall, considering that the house, of course, covers more ground as well. But we see the barracks there from Blaze also, and obviously we have both Mayan players at the top here, both going for a drush. It seems like at the south of the map, though, both Gripen and Atos are not going for a drush, at all, and instead we will probably see the standard kind of build so far with scouts. But I'm really going to be interested to see how things go in the north. Obviously, Decim here already getting his second boar, nearly taken that completely. quickly, and Blaze only just moving on to his second ball, having a little bit of a bad start up at the north of the map. We can see Atos and Gripen already up to the fuel age here. They were pretty... sorry, they're not up to the fuel age. That's the spectator dashboard telling me they clicked up to the fuel age. So Gripen and Atos both clicking up already, and they'll be there fairly soon. Both of them obviously going for some feudal aggression. But this drush coming in already from Decim here. Now bear in mind that militia line infantry does move 2% faster in this balance patch, which means that the ground is going to be covered a little faster as well. Not to mention that the Eagle Warrior does get a attack bonus against cavalry. It's not going to come into play here because both players will be using a Eagle. But if you were rushing against a civ like the Huns, then that Eagle Warrior will have a small advantage there against the Scout Cavalry. So Decim coming in with that drush. Blaze, though, I think he's had a change of heart here. He's actually going up to feudal and starting to make those militia now instead of making them earlier and delaying his feudal time. Clearly then going to go straight into man-at-arms rather than going straight for the drush. And I think it makes sense given the fact that his front of the base is fairly easy to wall up with houses and buildings, giving Decim a pretty tough time getting in there. He's going to have to go around the side, and by the time he's over there, well, Blaze is going to be up to feudal, and he's going to be looking for that man-at-arms upgrade, which is going to give them an extra 1 pierce armor, which is not going to affect things too heavily in the drush. Now, obviously, the Hun players both adding in their stables now, Atos and Gripen both adding in that stable there, and they're going to be going straight into those Scout Cavalry. We may see already, actually, Gripen here, the back of the map, going to pick off a villager from Atos. Pretty bad start for him there, and, you know, with wolves being nerfed, it's going to be kind of difficult for them to wall up properly, which is certainly going to encourage more aggressive play. We see Blaze trying to wall up this right side, but so far being pushed back, nearly losing a villager there. That Eagle there just going back, otherwise it will get picked off by the TC. And Blaze now coming in with 4 men-at-arms, as you can see, with that 1+1 pierce armor. So yeah, I mean, I'm going to be interested to see for sure how this goes, the pushback from Blaze here. Obviously, in this situation, Decim going to be a lot slower to the castle aid. I mean, he's not like he's going to be able to do a drush fast castle. Walling up and doing that is not an option. So because he's got these militia, he's gone up feudal. He is now going to be researching that man-at-arms upgrade and adding in that archery range as well, because switching into archers is the best way to go. Even though man-at-arms now do get a slight buff to health and pierce armor, actually making the man-at-arms, the archers is always the way to go, because archers will still counter man-at-arms fairly well. Decim there coming in, looking pretty good actually. He has got an advantage in numbers at first glance, and Blaze's scout as well, a little bit less on the health there also. Blaze going to go back to base and try and defend for now. Now obviously these guys having a little bit of extra boost to pierce armor means that TCs will have a slight tougher time actually taking them down, but really not by much. If you garrison a bunch of villagers in your TC, they're going to fire a lot of arrows, and those men-at-arms are still going to go down pretty quickly. Blaze still trying to wall up with houses here, but he's not going to have an easy time walling the entire back of his map. These men-at-arms coming around the side, perhaps looking to hit these villagers on the gold there. Meanwhile, on the left side, we've got Gripen and Atos fighting out with those scouts still. Gripen here actually making quite a lot of scouts. You can see he's got 6 there, possibly continuing to add more because I don't see an archery range yet. And that's gonna be interesting because that will really slow down the castle time. You can see both of them adding in quite a lot of farms already. And I like the fact that these guys are going all out into scouts here. Scouts are a fantastic feudal unit, great for raiding the woodline here. This villager from Atos looks like it's going to go down at the back, and Gripen clearly getting an upper hand against Atos here. We can see, if we have a quick look at the kill to lost ratio, Atos has killed 3 and lost 4, but he has lost 2 villagers in that 4, so he's kind of doing better in terms of military kills, but he's not doing so great in economy. Having a look at the population, I'm not going to get used to this one. There we go. We can see that Atos 36 pop versus wait, am I looking at the right thing? No, I'm not. My bad. Sorry. Yeah, Atos has got more population, but he is 2 villagers down compared to Gripen. That's what I was getting at. I'm so used to looking at the a different version of this. It's weird. So we've got fletching coming in for Decim now, switching into archers pretty quickly. Same for Blaze as well. That archer switch is gonna stay the same, of course. Archer's still the best option after a while, because the food cost of the man-at-arms does slow your castle time down, and switching into archers allows you to get extra food in the bank and get yourself up to the castle age. And we'll see that coming in, well, not too soon. But as the both Hun players have been doing quite a lot of stables, a lot of scouts, and they're only just switching into archers now. I think both sides, both the Mines and the Huns, are about the same point in time. Atos now looking to strike back. Obviously, he did good military damage to Gripen, and now he's coming in to try and find some villager kills. So far, it looks like he's going to get one. Gripen's villager there going the wrong way. She's going to go down very quickly, surrounded by 7 or 8 scouts there. How many is that, actually? That's 7 scouts. And Gripen now forced to build more spears to actually use to defend, because walling up, like we said earlier, is going to be a little challenge, and this right side is definitely very open for him. Walling that in a normal game would be difficult. Walling that now with you know, with a disadvantage, or sorry, a nerf to walling times, that's going to be difficult. So these archers coming in, we know fletching is done for Decim here, and villagers for Gripen going to go down. Oh man, this villager, just 3 health, and she's gone. 2 down on the gold, and he is not running away. He needs to get out of there, and he needs to bring his scouts into the fight. Unfortunately for Gripen, though, his scouts are taken down, or have been taken down by Atos, and I don't know if he's realized, but oh, there we go. There we go. He's only just realized that that gold was under a lot of pressure. So Gripen now in a bad situation. He's down by about 5 villagers compared to everyone else, and he's got both Atos and Decim in his base. But off at the other side of the map, we've got Blaze looking to do some eco damage to Decim here. At the back of the map, we saw quite a few units going down there. I think they were mostly man-at-arms, obviously still countered by man-at-arms still countered by the archers. I was getting distracted by the chat because Gripen has resigned. And yeah, it's over for him. I mean, he did really good aggression early on. He got some nice eco harassment against Atos there. But you see, Atos wasn't walled up, and neither was Gripen. But because Gripen was 2v1 over this side, Decim taking out a lot of villagers on that gold pile, and Atos here coming in at the back with his scouts. Gripen was down way too many villagers at that point. I mean, he was down 10 villagers versus Decim. He was down 8 villagers versus Blaze, and he was down 5 villagers versus Atos. Pretty gnarly for him, and that is not a good situation to be in. From this point, it would have been very difficult. I think maybe if he switched into archers earlier, might have worked out a little better. But I think the main mistake here for Gripen was losing a lot of his scouts over at the back. He came in here at the wood line. He killed 2 villagers, or killed 1 villager, sorry, but he lost a lot of scouts in that fight. He lost a lot of scouts in that fight, and that was a real big problem for him because he had no army to defend then when the counterattack came in from Atos. So we're going to go back and we'll see if we've got another game coming up. We'll see if they use different civs or whatever, but keep an eye out for that.